What's up, guys? We got the man, SubXO. We got the myth, JF Bonkin. Say hi.
I'm eating my lunch right now.
Yeah, you fat. Okay, sorry. And then we got the legend, Mr. Brick from Mr. Brick and Co. How are you, man?
Hey guys, I'm also eating Kevin's lunch right now.
Hey, what
Yeah,
the
he
heck?
is.
Should I introduce myself since I'm new to this?
Yeah, sure. Obviously, me and Mr. Brick have rubbed shoulders. I've passed my equipment
go
here
way
and there
back.
for his for his videos, but
Yeah.
I'll let you.
Sang a tune or two.
Yeah, a little bit. I'll let you introduce what you're all about, though.
Well, hi. Happy International Women's Day, everybody. My name is Anthony, otherwise known as Mr. Brick. I run the channel Mr. Brick and Co., where we've made maybe one, maybe two Deltarune videos. And yeah, I'm here to talk about power scaling today, which I don't really know much about. But you know, I have unfortunately been a Sonic fan all my life, and as of like last year, I've become a big Dragon Ball fan. So I'm excited to see how this all goes.
Yeah, I hope you know. My first reaction when seeing this with Bonkin with last time was like, wait, Dragon Ball and Sonic? I think I know a guy.
Those are like two of my things.
Pretty much, because I know you love talking about him, and I was like, you know what, this is a matchup that I think you would have a lot to say, and I don't know how much you've watched of Death Battle themselves. They have done a bunch of like different Sonic matchups, even with
Yeah.
Metal. This episode specifically, I think me and Bong are gonna agree.
I'm
I
not a
don't think
fan
it's
favorite.
that good. Yeah.
I remember watching this like back in the day, like back in the the olden times. Metal Sonic doesn't win this, right?
No.
Which he probably should have.
Nowadays,
Yeah,
yeah.
I remember back when I watched this, I remember being upset about that because I only knew Sonic and I was like, I like Metal Sonic, he's cool. And then now that I've grown up, I've matured, I'm like, and I've played Mega Man games, I'm like, Zero's way cooler and he's not a fraud, so I'll take it, even if Metal Sonic should probably win.
Yeah. I'll
Um,
say, since we're talking about scaling a little bit, Metal Sonic, this matchup actually, Metal Sonic versus Cell, at one point, we had like a Discord server with just a couple of our friends, and we did like debates together. And then it was mainly just me and Sub, like doing the debates and having other people like listen and judge who would win, like actual like arguments and whatnot. But Cell versus Metal Sonic was like the one that we were like, okay, let's have Anthony and one of our other friends do.
Yeah.
And that turned out to be a big mistake because I didn't realize that this is the fucking Sonic character we're talking about.
Yeah, so I remember looking through a lot of stuff and getting very overwhelmed. Again, it was also funny because back then I hadn't watched Dragon Ball, so I had no like attachment like to like
Yeah.
Cell. I was just like, I guess, in it for Metal Sonic, but now I'm like, I'm a fully developed human and I like both now. But yeah, no. So I think I do remember some of the stuff that I was like researching with Metal Sonic. So I think I could. I don't know how I'll be able to add anything to the conversation that isn't already like readily apparent, but like there's some stuff I do know like power scaling wise. Again, I've been many a Discord call with these two, hearing them talk about power scaling. So it's like it's not something that like I'm like I think it's cool, but it's not something I'm like as into as these guys. But I think some of the knowledge has like rubbed off on me.
Yeah.
Mm. Yeah, I definitely
But
think as a first matchup, especially Cell versus Metal Sonic, that's a lot of content, and this character, I think with just even his like copy ability, he could do like a million things depending on like who he's fighting, and it's like really
Yeah.
yeah.
I
I
think
honestly
also
never thought it was that much. Honestly, when I first pitched the matchup, I thought it was just like basically two bricks that had like a couple abilities here and there, and that was about it.
yeah,
two what?
2 bricks.
Whoa, wait.
But yeah, no, there is a lot. I'm assuming with this, it's just like canon, like stuff, like the games, like IDW, whatnot. Like
Yeah.
no Archie nonsense, right?
Yeah, no Archie.
No.
Yeah, no.
No Archie, nothing from like Dragon Ball Heroes. Probably nothing from like anything else. Metal Sonic. Probably the only like kind of side thing that they might mention is the Sonic OVA. from like the 90s.
And I know they're including the
Okay.
anime as well, because I know he has like some weird stuff that he doesn't use.
Oh, so that means he
somewhat
gets
get.
like a bunch of extra people. Like he has like Tien,
Yeah.
Krillin, like all those guys' data alongside. Because I think original Cell,
Yeah.
it's just he's made up of just like 5 people, right? It's Goku, Vegeta, Trunks,
Like Frieza.
Frieza, and King Cold, right?
I think
so, yeah.
Yeah.
And then I think every other person is just essentially like anime filler. So that's interesting that they're including that.
Yeah, but Sonic
Yeah,
matchups,
but,
Sonic versus Dragon Ball. I think this is probably better reception than I would have assumed, because honestly, for the entire wait period for this one, it was mostly just Mario versus Sonic debates, which is why I have this video pulled up. But
I think a part of that is just because Dragon Ball versus Sonic matchups, like Goku versus Sonic or Trunks versus Silver or whatever, stuff like that, it's very much like depends on how you scale the Sonic characters. Like if you say like the Sonic characters are only universal or low multiversal at max, like in their super forms or whatever, then the Dragon Ball characters just kind of kill them. But if you even think that they're equal, or if the Sonic characters are even more powerful, which some people do believe, then it's like they could really just kill him. So it's very like just interpretation based, and that's why the arguments are so heavy. Whereas like Cell versus Metal Sonic, it's like a guy who says he can blow up the solar system versus a guy who can like fight guys who can blow up the universe. So
yeah, like at minimum.
I think like,
not really much there.
because I think like Metal Sonic benefits greatly by the fact that, again, I assume like he can just like scale to a lot of the crazier stuff that happens like later on in like Sonic stuff, whereas like Cell is kind of limited to just the Cell saga of Dragon Ball, where it's like it's not like he can scale to like whatever like nonsense is going on in like Super or whatever, which also I haven't watched like Super. I've only watched original Dragon Ball and Z. But like again, I think just like having more different stuff that like Metal Sonic can scale to, I assume helps him out a bunch.
Yeah.
I think that's the funniest part. Before we can finally get into it, this matchup, man, it's just a bunch of chain scaling. It's not actually like direct feats or anything. I guess besides like Cell's one statement that he could like obviously blow up the solar system or whatever. But yeah, it's mostly how powerful everyone else is.
So I also wonder, because I know that Cell does have that quote. How do people like normally like read that? Because like, is that mostly taken at face value, or is there some sort of like, is he kind of like,
No. Sorry to cut you off, but that is taken
Okay.
at very face value. Cell just directly says he could, and based on kind of like, I guess, upscaling, because of like multipliers from Super Saiyan and whatnot, and how much stronger the characters have gotten. Like, just for example, Frieza is someone who could like blow up a planet with a pretty casual attack,
right?
and he could probably like blow up the sun even, or like a star. And he also like blew up another gigantic planet that's like way bigger than Earth in his first form. What I've been like thinking about it,
I mean,
So he
technically
could-
it's like negative fourth form.
Pretty much, yeah. He could do that, and then Cell is just like a million times stronger than him, so it kind of works out to where it's like, yeah, he could probably blow up the solar system.
Yeah.
And even
No,
if you don't want to believe that, there's also like guidebooks that just pretty much say like, yes, he could blow up the solar system if he wanted to.
Right. No, I totally buy that he could, but again, I feel like, again, I do think it is just kind of interesting, like how like different people with like power scaling, at least from what I'm aware of, like take different things like more, like having like higher value, like again, like someone saying that they can do something versus actually like showing a feat that they can. So I just thought that was interesting to bring up.
It's always
Again, I
based
think
on
also just, like-
interpretation, but
It's
I
all
guess
based on
it's-
interpretation.
Yeah.
that's why this shit is finicky. But for me, at least, I don't know. Any way you look at this matchup, I feel like Metal Sonic has to.
Yeah.
I feel like basically the only way you could say that Cell wins somehow is by not letting Metal Sonic use the emeralds, and by saying that his Metal Overload form and his other like super forms like Neo Metal don't scale anywhere close to like the higher ends of Sonic.
Maybe. That could be
I
the
think
case.
also like it was funny because like when you first asked me to like have me on for this one, I was kind of assuming like I don't know why I did, but I kind of just assumed that like it was like handed to Cell, and then I would have to be here arguing why I think Metal Sonic could maybe do it again, even though I feel like I've got like equal stock in both. Like I'd be cool with either of them winning. But again, I do think there's just a lot of crazy stuff with Metal Sonic. I think also just like the big similarity between these two is like their ability to like copy stuff. But like I think the big difference is that like again like Cell like has to like actually physically have like DNA of it or whatever, where Metal Sonic could just kind of like be around and is like, you know, like biodata copied, and then he just has it. And again, he has all the stuff from like Chaos and Shadow and stuff like that. And then also in like Neo Metal, like at the end of like Heroes, they need like all like 4 teams, like 12 people, including like 3 people in super forms, just to like beat him. And it's like, that's pretty wild.
That is crazy.
Yeah.
Well then, without further ado, let's get into this Cell Slaughter.
But against the record, Metal Sonic's a thing, so I don't necessarily want him to win.
Metal Sonic, which copycat android is truly the
Also for
superior
DA,
model.
congratulations. This is probably
And
probably
it's
his
our job to
episode
analyze
that
their weapons, armor,
is gonna
and
cook.
skills to find out who would win
Yeah.
a death battle. There's a monster stalking Gingertown. No one who's seen it has lived to tell the tale. All it left behind was their clothes. Something ate these people's insides, leaving only a shadow behind.
Some kind of creature driven only by the need to feed. Earth's new apex predator, the ultimate life form.
The Namekian Piccolo went to investigate this manslayer and discovered that it was intelligent. Its tail could unravel to absorb its hapless victims.
Jesus
and
Christ,
add
that
their
looks so-
energy to its wretched gestalt.
But
Dude, the animation
nightmare
on that
was
is so
only
sick.
just beginning
I was gonna
because
say, I really like
Frank's
how they
last trick,
made him kinda
somehow
scary
this
before he turned
freak
into
of
perfect.
nature knew the
Yeah.
Kamehameha.
The mystery of this creature's origin was decades in the making. Years ago, the world was terrorized by the most advanced paramilitary organization in history, the Red Ribbon Army.
Until they got rocked by this little kung fu gremlin, Son Goku.
But Red Ribbon's dream of revenge lived on within their head scientist, Dr. Giro.
Hiding away in his spooky cave laboratory, Giro would go to work studying the Z fighters from afar, learning everything there was to know about them.
And building a series of androids that would destroy his spiky-haired nemesis once and for all.
He made a ton of them. Infinite energy androids, key absorbing androids, trucker head androids, and even ginger androids.
However, none of Giro's creations were capable of matching that drive to improve that Goku and his fellow martial artists possessed.
Luckily, he had one more android left. A cute little booger so complex he'd take years after Giro's death to complete. Its name was Cell.
Born from a single cell, get it? This android possessed the genetic information of all the greatest warriors that had battled
Kermit the
on
Frog.
Earth, and
You're not
when
slick,
fully
DA.
evolved, would become unstoppable.
And with their DNA, Cell absorbed all their powers and techniques too.
Common among all of them is the power to manipulate Ki, or the energy that exists in all living things, and weaponize it to fire energy blasts, fly at faster than light speeds, move things with telekinesis, and create force fields.
From the humans, Krillin and Tien, Cell knows the multiform technique, Destructo Disc, and the Tri-Beam, his extra special favorite. Oh, weird, I'm not seeing Jiaozu on this list. Sorry, bud.
Is Xiaozu human?
Oh.
Okay. Cell can fire the Death Beam, as well as breathe in and travel through the vacuum of space with the alien genes of Frieza and his father.
And because he's got Piccolo's DNA, Cell can regenerate humongous damage to his body at the cost of some ki.
Cell has survived having half his body vaporized multiple times, and cannot be destroyed unless the small cluster of cells at the core of his being is eradicated.
Should that little bugger survive, Cell will always return, even stronger than before because of the Saiyan DNA he got from Goku and Vegeta. Definitely the cream of the genetic crop.
Sure, he can perfectly replicate attacks like the Gallic Gun, Spirit Bomb, and of course Kamehameha, as well as teleport by locking onto a living being's key signature.
But the best part of being a Saiyan is how much crazy stronger they get every time they almost die.
They can even evolve to become orders of magnitude stronger in the midst of battle. Combine that with Cell's healing factor, and he is effectively the ultimate warrior.
Like a perpetual shonen motion machine.
Driven by a biological imperative, Cell wanted nothing more than to devour Giro's previous androids, 17 and 18, believing it would make him perfect.
Only one problem. The Cell we know was born in the future, and both 17 and 18 had been destroyed. So he murdered Trunks and went back in time. Not our Trunks, future Trunks. Well, not future Trunks, but another future Trunks. It's very complicated. There's like 5 timelines.
As Cell defeated and absorbed the androids, he evolved. Not only
I'm
getting
wondering what they're going to
stronger, but
consider
changing
like
his
the most
personality
important thing
and
that Cell
developing a
has that
lust
actually
for
gives him a
battle.
chance.
He became less creepy bug serial killer and more,
I actually
well,
don't know.
Saiyan. After exploiting that very Saiyan arrogance and warrior's pride, Cell finally became
I feel
perfect.
like
And
Zenkai
easily
Boost could
dominated
be like
Trunks
a
and Vegeta,
maybe
the latter of
something.
whom had decades of
Hmm.
battle experience under his
Could
belt.
be.
Perfect Cell's
Could
power
Metal-
was
I
off
think
the
it's really
charts.
funny. There's
He
like
could threaten
5
the whole
timelines
Earth just
or
by
4
powering
timelines,
up.
but like
With a
everyone else
full
is
power
dead.
Kamehameha, he was
Yeah.
even capable of destroying our entire solar
Couldn't
system.
Metal just
While
copy
the vast
that,
majority of our
actually?
solar system's mass is located in
Like
the
Zenkai
sun,
Boost?
this still means that Cell's keywave would have to reach
Yeah,
2.8
Metal probably
billion
could.
miles to
Huh.
arrive
Could.
on every planet.
You
I wouldn't be
whiz.
surprised if he
Maybe
beat
he was
Cell
just
for Kamehameha.
exaggerating.
Not likely. Cell's
Yeah.
claim has been backed
Oh, yeah,
up
he
in
needs to
multiple
copy that.
guidebooks and even demonstrated outright in the video games.
Cell's even stronger in the anime adaptation, considering the time Frieza blew up Namek. In the anime, the explosion was literally hundreds of light years wide and lit up the friggin' galaxy.
And
Bro-
Cell was far stronger than Frieza was at that
Ooh.
point in time.
Hell, the Namekians could sense him all the way from a different galaxy and thought he might be a threat to the whole universe.
He's also incredibly fast, capable of blitzing
Oh, yeah,
the
there is kind of
strongest Z fighters
universal
at the
Cell,
time.
I guess.
Goku flew from Grand Kai's planet of heaven all the way to Hell, hundreds of
We
billions of light
considered
years
this hurtful
in
statement.
half a minute. And that was in his base form.
Yeah, that's cool, but how about the power to squeeze mini Cell Juniors out of your butt? What? Never heard of that key technique? Call it the Kegel.
Can you believe that
Perfect
this
Cell
is
was
off in the Red Ribbon
entirely
Army?
without peer, and
Yeah, bruh.
Yep.
wedded to Jiro's petty grudge, decided to prove it with a tournament.
The Cell Game!
I think it's also
And
crazy
if
that the
Goku
Cell
couldn't even
Juniors,
beat
at
him,
least from what I'm
what
aware, are
hope
like
did anyone else
almost as
have?
strong as like
Vegeta
Cell
couldn't even
himself.
handle a Cell
Yeah.
Junior.
Their last hope was Goku's own son, Gohan.
After Cell arrogantly let him power up, Gohan unleashed his rage, pushed the bug monster to his absolute limits, and beat him. Wow, Cell, you really are related to Vegeta, aren't you?
In truth, Cell was a victim of his own success. The same Saiyan genes that made him all-powerful also sowed the seeds of his defeat.
He got so mad he even blew himself up. Maybe he does have some Chaozu in him after all.
Even that wasn't enough to totally put him down, and he came back with the same Super Saiyan power-up that Gohan had just unlocked.
Super perfect Cell. Now with more lightning. In a battle for the ages, Cell put the entire weight of his biological programming against one lone Saiyan and went the distance.
But in the end, it still wasn't enough. No matter how brilliantly Dr. Gero copied the Z-Fighters, he still couldn't quite figure out their knack for going beyond.
What can be destroyed can always be rebuilt. All it takes to recreate the most fearsome warrior in the universe is one single Cell.
Hey, real quick,
pretty
did you
good.
know Death
Yeah, I didn't really see anything too like damning. I guess, yeah, like you said, Universal Cell could be a thing.
Yeah, I think the difficulty is just that like Neo Metal, I feel like realistically could just be able to copy anything that Cell does.
Yeah.
Because I feel like I remember like when this was coming out, I remember seeing someone say like, oh, like when like Metal says like Son Gohan bio data copied and like Cell starts tweaking or something like that. Like, he like goes Super Saiyan 2.
time
But,
and
like,
again,
I-
the
I-
world
again, I
and
think
its
it's
cuddly
especially
forest
because,
critters
like,
were threatened by the evil
like,
and
it's
oval
like
Dr. Ivo
like the
Eggman
Cell's like
robot.
bio data
And
copy or
time
not
and
Metal,
again,
I mean
that
rather.
same world and those same
is like
critters
sorry,
were
should I not
saved
talk
by
over this?
Sonic.
No, you're good. I usually
Right,
like
I
when
was-
this
sorry,
is
I
a
was-
reaction. I like talking over it anyway, but
Yeah, I just don't want to talk over anything important. I was just like saying like I think it's also just interesting because like Metal Sonic's copy, it's like very like effective, you know, where it's like he's able to copy like the data of like chaos, like perfect chaos and all that, just from like absorbing like Froggy, who like ate like a piece of chaos like once, like years ago, and he was still able to get chaos's data from it, you know.
That's pretty insane.
Jesus.
Yeah. So
Hedgehog. No
I
matter
just think that's
how
something to
many
consider.
robotic badniks the good doctor threw at his blue spiky nemesis, his schemes were always 6 spin jumps to the glowing weak spot away from getting cracked and scrambled.
But it wouldn't be over easy for Eggman. If he couldn't defeat the Blue Blur, he would make his own, Metal Sonic.
Well, 0 points on creativity.
You know,
for that
after this
name,
battle,
but
there's gonna be like a
goddamn,
week
he
or two
does
where
look
people think like
metal
Metal
as
Sonic's the
hell.
strongest
They
character
say
in fiction.
imitation is the sincerest
Yep.
form of flattery, so Eggman built Metal with more than enough blast processing to
Dude,
match
the
his
OVA is so
prototype.
cool. I love this
Metal
song.
can zoom around at massively hypersonic speeds, fast enough to
Like the
land
one
nearby
time Metal Sonic
planets
just
in
got to be
seconds.
completely
He's
cool.
tougher than Eggman's standard equipment, some of which can survive black holes.
Metal can use all of Sonic's power-ups and even replicate his classic spin dash and light speed attack.
But he's got moves
I've seen a lot of
his
people
own.
say
He
this
can
episode
attack
is
with
like
energy blast, fire a
Metal
chest
Sonic
laser,
aura farming
surround
featuring
himself
Cell.
in an
I don't think
electric
that's
aura,
gonna
or
be
an
the
impenetrable
case.
force
It's
field.
By overloading his circuitry with
They
energy,
done a
Metal
good
can
job at
activate
making Mountain
beam
Knight just, like,
maximum
so
overdrive,
cool.
quadrupling
Yeah.
his acceleration and obliterating anything in his path.
They've done worse
At the
stomps.
risk of self-destructing.
You'd think
Yeah.
all that'd be enough to turn the rodent into roadkill, but it only took one showdown on Stardust Speedway to send Metal to the scrap heap.
On paper, Metal should be able to outmatch Sonic in every way, and yet he doesn't. For some reason, Eggman wasn't able to capture that ineffable quality that makes Sonic the fastest thing alive. Metal's defeats at the hands of Sonic and his friends sharpened his AI into a seething hatred of his rival and a burning desire to prove himself superior.
Yeah, well, when you're getting your supersized red ass handed to you by Charmy B, you know something's gone horribly wrong.
Metal's defeats gave him an existential crisis. If he was created to surpass Sonic and couldn't even manage that, what was he? Why should he exist?
Never one to admit defeat, Eggman took Metal back to the drawing board and birthed him anew. You,
This Neo Metal Sonic was, above all, far smarter.
especially after he copied Eggman's intelligence and took over his empire. And we mean literally copied. If Metal started as Sonic's copycat, why not hunt all of his furry friends down and copy them too?
Neo Metal Sonic is equipped with scanners in his optic receptors that can copy a person's biodata, giving him the ability to recreate all of their abilities in seconds.
Like the Sonic Boom, Knuckles' Hammer Punch, Tails' magical swiveling asshole, and Big's ability to suck at fishing.
Metal isn't just learning their moves, he can replicate more esoteric powers like Silver Psychokinesis, manufacture Rouge's mechanical bat guards, or alter his very biology to copy Espio's chameleon invisibility. It's worth mentioning that biological data is a real scientific term and can refer to molecular structures like the genome sequence within a living organism's DNA.
Yeah, his copying is so busted, it doesn't really matter that he's a robot made of metal. If you can do it, so can he. Probably helps that he can shapeshift and regenerate his whole body from a puddle.
Likely by copying one of the mightiest beings on the planet, the god of destruction, Chaos.
Not the only chaos he's encountered.
By scanning the ultimate life form, Shadow the Hedgehog, he gained his ability to manipulate some of the most powerful artifacts in the universe.
You mean the Chaos Emeralds?
Yes, the emeralds contain an infinite wellspring of mystical power and life energy. With them, Metal can perform Shadow's chaos control. He can teleport, warp, and distort space, boost his speed, and stop time. And with either the Chaos Emeralds or Master Emerald, he can transform into Super Neo Metal Sonic.
Completely invulnerable and completely golden, Super Neo Metal Sonic can move at faster than light speeds and has the power to move continents.
The emeralds
So
are
Cell
inconceivably
Cell can win,
powerful.
right?
They've been
Cell
used
still
to
got
fuel
this.
Eggman's death
For right
which can
now.
obliterate star systems.
On their own, they can
Yeah.
even
What if-
create
what
and
if he pulls
destroy
the
whole
tri-beam?
universes.
Other super characters like Sonic have
Stalls
battled
him.
and defeated beings like the Tiny, who could destroy multiple dimensions and timelines in seconds. At their peak, 3 super hedgehogs have even fought Solaris, who nearly consumed Sonic's entire multiverse.
So Super Neo Metal
Never
Sonic
mind.
should be just as powerful as any of them. Though he's got to be quick because all that power only lasts a short time.
The road to total domination was nearly at an end. After manipulating Sonic
So,
and friends and copying
Anthony, I have
their
a question for
abilities,
you.
Metal
Yeah.
eventually combined their biodata
Regarding
with the mighty
Supersonic and, like,
Egg
just the
became
super forms in
Metal
general,
Overlord.
Do you think they only last like a short minute or like a couple hours at most, kind of like the in-game stuff, or do you think they could actually hold on to them for like weeks?
And he
I think
knew
it's
it.
complicated,
His
'cause
ego
again, the
might as
whole
well
thing
have
is
its own
in-game,
health bar.
so if you
Metal's
lose all your
drive to
rings,
surpass his rival
then,
had morphed into the
you, like,
delusional
lose your
belief
super
that
form.
he was the
But like,
original,
I
and
think this is
Sonic
one of those
the
weird
lowest
Sega
top.
mandates things that they, I think like Ian Flynn and other people talk about it. Apparently, at least currently in the lore, the rings aren't quote unquote canon.
Oh.
Like, maybe I need a fact check on that, but I'm pretty sure the rings aren't actually canonically in Sonic's world or whatever. which that is the main thing that implies that there is like a time limit. I think also it's just something to consider that it is like Shadow like loses his like super form in SA2 and falls and quote like dies, but like Sonic doesn't, and I think that's just the implication that Shadow's not as used to it as Sonic is. Where I think if there is a time limit, I think like getting more and more used to it over time, like will like yeah, kind of like Super Saiyan. So I think probably like at current now, like someone like Sonic could probably hold it for like probably at however long he wants. I would at least like assume. I think that is interesting to bring up with Metal Sonic though, since he's only like actually turned like super, like in like IDW, and I guess technically he uses like the emeralds in like actually no, he doesn't use the emeralds to turn like into Metal Overlord and stuff like that. So yeah, he's only turned super the once. So I feel like I could totally buy saying that he couldn't hold it for very long.
My personal interpretation of it, because I know like you said, it's probably like they could hold it longer. I remember at one point, I think Sonic Advance, Sonic just kind of flies around in Super for like weeks almost.
Yeah.
I think how I kind of interpret it is that like in a fight or when Sonic's like actually straining and using the powers, or like anyone is using their superpowers, then they are it only lasts like a short bit, like maybe an hour or two, or however long they need to fight for. Usually they finish their fights faster, so it's okay. But when they're not really straining it, when they're just kind of casual with it, kind of like again Super Saiyan during those days before the Cell games, then they could hold it for like
Master Series
weeks or whatnot.
Yeah, like how much they strain their powers, like specifically.
Pretty much.
For sure. But I think also just like in the case of like a fight, again, because like I don't know too much like power scaling stuff, but I know the way people talk about like super like forms like the emeralds and stuff like that in like these conversations, that they're like so crazy that I feel like a lot of the times like even if they could only hold it for like an hour, it might be all like they kind of need.
Pretty much, yeah. That's how I always feel about it.
I think I don't know if this would like even like really matter, but I think it's also interesting when people talk about like how powerful the Chaos Emeralds are. I think it's interesting that I was technically cut from the game, like the dialogue, so I don't know how canon you want to consider it, but apparently like the Wisps, like the hyper go-on energy is supposed to be like even stronger, like by like a significant margin. And I was just curious if that ever comes up in like power scaling discussions.
Nope.
Nope.
I don't think
Usually
Wisps. Yeah.
That's fair enough.
I think they only really focus on like the one Wisp that can like make a black hole, and then like that one is just like, and that's it. They don't talk about the other ones.
I think honestly that hyper go on energy stuff, because it was cut, probably just isn't included. But if there is something like in a future game or in one of these games or some shit where it is kind of compared to Chaos Emeralds in terms of just sheer power and energy, then they would probably be like more relied upon, you know?
Right. Come on, Ian Flynn. I know you're begging for it. Just let it happen. Say it.
Write it in.
Behind those glowing red eyes, maybe Metal is more cunning than he lets on, and is only biding his time until he can take over again.
Maybe the most powerful thing that Metal copied was the ability to lie.
He's always there, waiting.
I'm sure that was probably really hard, but we were in an actual conversation.
Right.
Sorry.
You know, I didn't miss anything.
No, not really.
But,
I think
yeah, I guess who do you think's gonna win?
I don't know.
The combatants are set, and we've run the
guy
gate
can, like,
of
help
all
you
possibilities.
But he have like all of those abilities, or no?
But like, you gotta consider that he's perfect.
He is perfect.
He's perfect.
Perfect.
Dude, I wish Metal Sonic could be cool in games again, man.
He will be. He will be.
Salutations, Dr. Robotnik. Your reputation precedes you. Bring me your strongest fighter, or face... Then prepare to kneel before your master.
Also, first 3D Sonic episode. It's gonna be.
Hands on this guy, man.
Tell me.
I mean, he is more
does a
skilled.
machine like yourself ever experience
Yeah.
fear? Not anymore.
What the fuck? Oh,
Oh, okay.
that was very fast.
Getting right to it.
Do you think a barrier would work?
No, you know how much that
He's
costs?
Little Planet. Throw Little Planet out of this thing.
Fool, you're dealing with the ultimate life form. I already possess his data. Observe. Chaos?
Nobody gives a fuck about that speech.
Life form beta successfully copied. Scum. It'll take more than that to kill me, puppet! I know. Now I know everything about you, insect.
Oh,
That's so cool.
Don't you dare.
that's pretty awesome.
Yeah.
I am not just the greatest warrior in the universe. I am all of them. If you are all of them, then so am I. I'll never lose to a machine like...
Yeah.
Dude, what I made.
I'll crush you.
Yep.
Yep.
Now Metal's got all the powers of the Chaos Emeralds and the Z Fighters? Well, that world's fucked. Our bad.
Cell may have been one of the greatest threats in Dragon Ball Z, but Eggman's greatest creation ultimately proved too much for him. Let's break this down into 4 categories: strength, speed, abilities, and adaptation.
First up, who was the strongest? Well, it's no surprise that any version of Cell was gonna be way more powerful than base Metal or Neo. Even just using the manga, blowing up a solar system is far beyond the level of power output Metal can match.
Without his stronger forms. With them, the power gap entirely reversed. Not only could Metal match Cell's solar system busting or scaling from Frieza, but he could surpass it with the universe-destroying power of the Emeralds.
But hang on, Wiz. Those Namekians said that Cell was strong enough to threaten a universe on his own.
They did, but they didn't specify how, and there's nothing suggesting he could destroy it in one go, especially since it's only brought up theoretically and without any time frame.
Even being generous and assuming he could just blow it up, final bosses like Time Eater and Solaris can destroy the wider multiverse, and Super Neo Metal would scale to them. Metal Sonic takes the edge in strength.
And with Sonic characters being known for their speed, you might think that was an easy win for Metal.
At his max speed in his super form, he should be comparable to entities like the Time Eater, who in Shadow Generations can destroy entire universes in seconds. By using the radius of the observable universe, we can estimate the Time Eater's destructive wave traveled at about 180 quadrillion times faster than light.
Certainly impressive, but let's compare that to Goku's flight from heaven to hell shortly after the Cell games. which covered roughly a universe in distance at approximately 180 quadrillion times faster than light.
Hey, just like Time Eater. The difference, though, was that Goku was in his base form, way slower than Super Saiyan 2 Gohan or Super Perfect Cell.
Factoring in Super Saiyan multipliers, Super Perfect Cell could move upwards of 100 times faster than that, and so 100 times faster than Metal Sonic. Somehow, Cell takes the edge in speed. You know, the thing Metal was designed for.
Wasn't expecting that. Let's see if any of their abilities could.
I guess they aren't taking like
many of the same powers, like
immeasurable
telekinesis,
speed
force
like
fields, and
Super
energy
Sonic or
projectiles.
whatever.
Of note, though,
'Cause I know
Cell's
that's
regeneration
everyone
was
says
clearly
that.
superior, able to fully heal from a
I
single
think it's
cluster
kinda
of microscopic
honestly.
cells.
I think
On
they're
top
just
of
talking
that,
maybe
Cell's Saiyan
quantifiably.
genes would let him grow in power every
Yeah.
time he almost died, and his Cell Juniors gave him the
Oh, no, I
numbers
mean, like,
advantage.
And
I think
considering Super Neo Metal had a
infinite
time
speed
limit, Cell
not
would have
kinda
a
dumb
big
just in general.
advantage in a battle of attrition.
But
Fair,
with Chaos
fair.
Control, that became a lot tougher.
Cell and his juniors had no way to deal with Metal boosting his speed or stopping time, something that countered Cell's speed advantage and left him open. And
Bruh.
with Silver's psychokinesis, or the Emerald spatial distortion, Metal could seriously impair Cell's healing.
So it helped that Cell could fall back on his martial arts abilities in a pinch.
Despite effectively being a newborn, Cell's genetic instincts allowed him to best Earth's most skilled warriors back to back to back.
Metal may have copied Eggman's brains, but he definitely isn't as good of a fighter. The Sonic heroes haven't trained like the Z fighters, and Metal's been beaten by all of them a bunch of times. So all that in mind, abilities is roughly a wash.
Which leaves us with the one thing they're both known for, their capability to evolve and become more powerful in response to their opponents, aka their adaptation.
Even Metal wins,
And
it's still being
frankly,
brought back.
that's where this back and forth completely breaks. Because at the end of the day, Metal can copy Cell, but Cell can't absorb Metal.
Cell's ability to physically absorb an opponent is primarily viable against foes he can match or overpower.
Even if he took Metal by surprise, he can't absorb fully inorganic robots like Android 16.
Cell was only able to absorb androids 17 and 18 because they were primarily organic.
They're actually more like cyborgs and are only called androids in the English translation.
Metal, on the other hand, can copy a target's biodata through only a few seconds of direct eyesight, something he could easily accomplish during a time stop.
And using it on Cell means he wouldn't just get Cell's powers, but the powers of all of the Z Warriors too.
Remember, Metal's copying applies to abilities that fundamentally affect his own biology, like Espio's invincibility or Chaos's liquid body. Nothing Cell has would be off limits, especially given all of Cell's powers were genetically encoded in the first place, quite literally biodata.
Cell's Saiyan power-ups? Copied. Cell's regeneration? Copied. Cell's key techniques? Believe it or not, copied.
Chaos Emeralds are described as being able to produce life energy, similar to Ki, so there's a precedent for him being able to replicate Cell's power set. And at this point, there's nothing stopping Metal from, say, stopping time and using a Kamehameha to vaporize him at a cellular level, just like Gohan did.
Cell might be able to do anything the Z Fighters know how to do, but that's not gonna help him, because Metal can do anything Cell knows how to do. Range, isn't it?
Cell
I
just
think
doesn't
that
have
is
any options to
fair enough the
retaliate that
biggest
Metal wouldn't also
point.
possess, including any of his
Yeah.
previous advantages. Metal's copy ability is just that overpowered.
Oh, I guess now I get why they called it Sonic CD.
Why's that?
Cell died. Wiz, you get it? CD? Wiz, where you go? Come on back. Next
That was good.
that was
Yeah.
really good. Okay,
That was really good.
I guess we'll just watch the next time.
Time
I have no predictions to be
on
honest.
Death Battle.
I have nothing.
Yeah, me neither. What? No fucking!
Whoa.
Oh my
fucking
god!
big.
They did this stupid ass matchup.
Oh wait, oh wait.
Oh my god!
God damn it, dude.
Bakugo.
That's funny.
Subscribe and join as a member to see
So
more Death
fucking
Battle.
lame, dude.
Thanks for watching.
Why are we getting on a fucking Twitter match this year?
We're getting a Twitter match. Blah blah blah. Oh boy, island level versus Lake City at best, maybe.
No, Risa got that. She got that.
That's what Twitter thought, just because My Hero bad, because it's cringy.
It's because she's a better character. I haven't watched My Hero, so I don't know, but
I
I
mean, yeah, I'd stand by
never
that, but
Character.
yeah, this episode is really
Bakugo
fucking
wins
good.
that.
No.
No, dude, it's someone who could like maybe blow up like a building versus a guy who could like scale to fucking country level. I don't like him, But come on.
No, no, no.
Like,
I hate my hero,
the-
so he should lose.
But like she's
Fair
like the, like the concept. I guess it's not the concept of bombs. It's like the fear of bombs. So
I don't think this nigga's afraid of bombs, bro.
I mean,
well, I mean, I don't
Yeah.
think it like.
I know.
don't- yeah, yeah, yeah.
yeah. Dude, I feel like again, I agree with what you said last video, Bonkin,
Mhm.
because like I would have rather had like a better cell matchup that matched up better, because it was still hella fun. I mostly am just like, yeah, let's let's watch Cell get murdered the entire time, but I think Dark Samus would have been
Yeah.
cooler. Wait, cooler.
Dark Knight was cooler, but at the same time, I feel like they did a really good job of balancing it, where
Yeah.
Cell actually was able to like do his shit. And usually they don't really like I feel like they don't really use their analysis for the animation to kind of like show like how it would probably go, because it's just an animation, you can't really take
Yeah.
it that seriously. But I feel like this one compared to usual really shows like probably how it would go down. Like I think Metal could probably copy his bio data way faster, but it would really just be Cell bullies him until Metal locks in.
For sure.
Pretty much until he just gets one look at him.
Yeah.
I do think it is also kind of fun that like, again, I'm assuming they gave Cell all the anime stuff probably to give him just like more, but like that inadvertently also just gives Metal Sonic more.
Yeah.
It's so
This was
it's-
super cool.
It's so funny because like literally anything, any advantage you could possibly give him. I think even if you like gave him heroes, like Metal could just literally just stare
I
at
wouldn't
him.
go that far. I won't go that far.
You wouldn't go that far?
Because Heroes is like way, way, way more powerful than anything in Sonic.
Is it bigger than like? Is it multiple
Yes.
layers of like? Oh, okay.
Like,
Because I'm wondering if like the dimensional
get-
stuff and multiversal stuff and like Sonic is like somewhat comparable.
it really would get to the point where it's like basically you'd probably want to do like a Heroes versus Archie matchup just to make it more fair. And from what I remember hearing, Metal isn't really all that in Archie.
It's funny when that happens. Actually, there's like a bunch of characters that are just, even if you give them that, it's like they're jobbers. I think like Blaze is like one of
Yeah.
those.
Blaze, I think Shadow,
Yeah.
at least in comparison to like canon Sonic stuff.
And, I think assumedly like a lot of the characters that were introduced like later on when they were trying to like at least somewhat match the stories, because again I feel like what like makes like Archie Sonic power scaling like so like crazy is all like the weird like completely made up stuff that was like added early on,
Mm-hmm.
Where it's like, oh yeah,
Oh,
like
stuff,
Knuckles
yeah.
is like has all this like weird lore, he's like a god, he's green now, and it's like that's what makes it like it's him so like crazy strong,
Yeah.
Honestly, I don't really want Archie matchups like that anymore, but if we do get like one more, I'd want it to probably be a Knuckles matchup.
Dude.
think- You think?
Because there's like a certain like amount of time that they give like the like little like recaps for the story, right?
Yeah.
I do not want to imagine the hell that would be gone through to try and give a brief summary of Archie Knuckles' like history.
I'm wondering if like does the Juggernaut matchup that everyone loves with Knuckles like does that include Archie or is that?
That is like specifically Archie.
Oh, okay.
You know what I'm surprised about? I'm surprised they didn't reference the
Oh yeah, the hoi hoi hoi.
Yeah. Dude, I actually sang it.
Maybe I gotta listen to the track by itself.
It's a good song.
I do really like the song here.
Yeah.
Again, just like including like Cell's theme and then what I'm made of here at the end.
With death battle music, it's like usually I probably wouldn't listen to it by itself, like put it in like my playlist and stuff, but they're good songs. There's some fun ones in there.
Oh, I think I just put together when you were doing like you were. I didn't realize what you were saying. You were talking about like the start of Speedway thing, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, that actually I am surprised because again, that's pretty much just become like Metal's like theme now.
Yeah.
And the gif of him dancing.
Yeah.
I like the plushie.
Yeah,
Plushie
the
is very
plushie.
good.
But yeah, this was a good episode. I'm glad that like, honestly, they played it kind of straight. I don't think people are gonna get angry at this one. Mostly because, again, anytime there's a Sonic versus Dragon Ball, I always get scared. But
Yeah.
honestly, people are probably gonna have a lot more to say about the next one than anything else. In terms
Yeah, I
of,
don't know
like,
what's wrong with them.
I mean, like, I'm gonna be honest though, like, Bakugo matchups in general, like, just range from like he gets murdered or he absolutely fucking murders. So it's not really like,
Yeah.
because like the other ones are like Rexplode and like. No, I'm not gonna lie. I think he like actually murders most of his matches, but that's besides the point. That's just bad.
Pretty much.
To end it off, your ending thoughts?
Yo, they really fucking just gave Bakugo like the easiest one in the fucking world for no reason.
Mr. Brick.
Yeah, I'm trying to think. I think it was just you know, very solid. Again, I think the fight was really cool. I think they did like the descriptions for the characters like very well, and I think it was like fun to watch. There really isn't anything to complain about. It was like, yeah, what kind of seemed like the outcome was going to be did happen, but I think they did it like fairly effectively, and it didn't feel like just a complete like stomp, you know.
Yeah, they made it sound close.
Yeah. Again, it is funny to me just how much more justice Death Battle gives like Metal Sonic compared to like the actual series. Because I remember back when like, the Eggman and Bowser right there, like people were talking about like how cool they made Metal.
He's just hide moments in Aura now.
That's true.
I will let you know if there's ever, for the people over at your fan base, if there's ever an Undertale matchup.
Delta
I
and
know.
Undertale one, yeah.
I know who to call.
Yeah, you know, I might be busy. Like, look, yeah, I'm not even that interested, you know.
Alright.
But yeah, thank you so much for having me. It was so fun watching this with you guys.
Yeah, of course, always.
Of course.
As always, Subexo folk. I'm tired as hell and I gotta edit this shit.
That's what you call your fan base?
I call them subs.
Sub-Exo fans, come over to Mr. Brick & Co. We're way nicer to you over there. Leave this guy behind.
I don't know about nicer, but yeah, go. Don't leave me behind. But yeah, go do that. Go do that.
Guys, if you're a Sub-Exo fan watching this, go watch our Christmas album, and then maybe you'll get a little bit of a peek of your goat.
And also go watch an anniversary tier list. Maybe I might sing a bit more in there. Who knows?
Maybe. You're a very musical character over in Mr. Brick & Co. land.
I enjoy that because the character itself, it's accurate. Alright. But thank you all so much for watching. I'll see y'all when Bakugo absolutely fucking slams. God damn it, Death Battle.